Hello everybody, how's it going? Serena here from Whole Shift Wellness. I hope everybody in the group is doing fabulous. I feel really inspired to talk to you guys about possibly the most powerful distinction and theory that is going to allow you to completely transform your health, your fitness, your well-being, and take it to the next level, or it's gonna push you out of a rut if you're feeling like you're a bit stuck or like you've hit a plateau. For whatever reason, I've had several conversations in the past few weeks with people who are in that very space and are feeling a little bit demotivated and deflated, and it's pretty normal to hit plateaus along the way. Even our shifters that sometimes do, but through applying this really important principle in theory, they always inevitably manage to get themselves out of them super effectively without taking hardly any steps back. It's a really powerful theory. It's thoroughly explained in my book, Make the Shift. For those of you who haven't got it and want to grab a copy, it's available on Amazon. And by the way, disclaimer, I am excited to announce the audiobook will be coming out very soon as well, for those of you who prefer that as a medium. So stay tuned for that. But so, I mean, essentially, I'm speaking to anyone who has either hit a plateau, so therefore, what has worked for you as far as your fitness, health, well-being, and nutrition, what has worked for you in the past doesn't seem to be working anymore, doesn't seem to be bringing forth the results that you would like, or for somebody who has, for whatever reason, whether it's lack of time or lack of energy or whatever, felt like you have neglected your health and well-being for a period of time, and you are now at that point where you're ready to take action. It's time. You're present with the fact that this is not good enough, that things need to change and that you cannot continue on like this any longer, but you don't know where to start from. It's so overwhelming, isn't it? It feels like you need to climb Mount Everest and you actually don't even know where to take the first step. There's so much information bombarding you from all different angles, and you're kind of thinking back of the past, of things that worked in the past, but your life is not the same anymore. So what might have worked 3, 5, even just 1 year ago might not apply to you any longer, especially given how much all these circumstances, the world that we live in, have profoundly changed and will continue to change. So, pen and paper at hand, because this is a game changer, and it's literally, I cannot emphasize it enough. Essentially, this theory that I'm going to share with you guys is the outcome of all the research that me and Eugene put into developing our proven methodology, which is based over 20 years of combined experience transforming the well-being of over 500 professionals across 5 countries. So there's a lot of data and research and experiential knowledge and information that goes into what I'm about to share with you right now. It's not to be underestimated. We have simplified it because we know that in order for it to be effective, it also has to be simple. But don't be deceived, because simple and easy are 2 very different things. Some of the simplest things in the world are some of the hardest things in the world as well. Try and just lie down completely still without even fidgeting for 5 minutes. So simple, might just be the hardest thing you're ever trying to. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to, some of you might have heard of this before, the triplet theory. I just did a reminder of this in our Plus group as well, for our lovely Plus shifters, going into detail, and I felt compelled to share it with you guys because this is by and far the most game-changing principle which has completely transformed my health and well-being radically. And by the way, I was not always as fit as I am right now, or as healthy as I am right now. I have battled with my health and my own health and well-being for years. Obviously it's a long time ago now, but I want you to know that I'm not one of those people who is naturally thin, naturally fit, naturally healthy, and has never experienced what it's like to be overweight. I have been severely overweight. At my heaviest in the past, of course it's a long time ago, but I have hit a weight that is 15 kilograms over what I weigh right now, and that on what fundamentally is a small frame is a lot of weight. And I have tried everything under the sun. I have tried any diet you can imagine, any fad you can imagine, any fitness approach you can imagine, and for years in my teens and early 20s nothing worked. Actually, everything I did seemed to kind of push me back, not only to where I started, sometimes it would push me back even further along. So I would try this new thing, maybe I would lose a few pounds, and eventually I would hit the proverbial wall and I would pull back all the weight and then some. To the point where at my heaviest I was 15 kilos more than I am right now. And I couldn't even stand the sight of my own self in the mirror. Literally, it was a very painful time for me. And it goes beyond vanity, I want you to know that. When you are in a body that doesn't perform the way you know it should, that doesn't represent you, that literally like you feel like you're imprisoned in your body, you feel like your body is working against you rather than for you, you feel like your body is your enemy. There's nothing worse. There is nothing worse. Literally, you can't enjoy your life. You can't fulfill your day-to-day functions properly. You can't even like I was avoiding friends. I was avoiding special occasions. I was isolating myself, drowning myself in work. I was totally miserable, and it wasn't just because I wasn't looking good. I literally wasn't feeling like myself from the inside and out. And so when you feel like that, it reverberates through every area of your life in ways that are greater than you can even imagine. And sometimes you only realize how much it was affecting you. I for sure do, once you're out the other side and you look back and you're like, oh my God, what a miserable life I was living. And it's not for lack of trying. I was working my ass off trying to figure out and do the running and do the training and do the dieting, and whenever I would take 2 steps forward, I would take 10 steps back. I'm only sharing this with you because I want you to know that I get it. I've been there. I haven't forgotten. I never will. It's the edge that I have over some people in my industry who actually don't know what it's like to be unhealthy and to be overweight. I actually have this little saying that I share with our shifters, which is you should never ever trust a nutrition expert who doesn't know what it's like, or a weight loss expert at that, who doesn't know what it's like to actually be overweight. It's a peculiar experience, and unless you've been there, you can't relate. And if you can't relate, you can't deliver. And I can relate, and that's why we can deliver, because the principle that I'm about to share with you and our entire methodology revolves not only on our professional experience with our shifters, but first and foremost on our own personal experience, on how me and Eugene are able, in my late 30s, and he's not gonna want me to share his age, but I'm gonna, late 40s for him, or mid 40s I should say, how are we in the best shape of our life and continuously getting better? That's why I want to share this principle with you, is because we don't just apply it in our work with others. This is how we live our lives and how we're able to be who we are and live how we live and get the results that we get on ourselves first and foremost. I am always and forever my #1 shifter. I am the first client I ever attend to, because if I'm not my very best self, I can't serve you, and I can't be my very best self with you in the work. that I do transforming your health and well-being. So this is a long preamble, but I felt it was needed, and it comes from my heart. But I still want you to get pen and paper, because I'm going to share the tripod theory with you. If you've got my book, you might be familiar with it to some extent, because I delve deep into it in the book. Today I'm just gonna tell you the top line principle, but I'm gonna do a series of videos. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm actually maybe gonna do a webinar about this, because I think it would be so valuable to really share all the details and talk about it in depth and get your questions live. But anyways, all you need to know for today is that your optimal level of health, fitness, well-being, and mind-body confidence is like a structure with 3 legs, right? It's like a tripod, a structure with 3 legs. What happens to a tripod when even just one of the 3 legs is weaker than the others? It won't stay up. It won't feel sturdy. It won't feel steady. It won't feel strong. It doesn't matter how strong one of the 3 legs is. Actually, I'll tell you what, sometimes if 2 of the 3 legs or one of the 3 legs is much stronger than the others, that creates an even greater imbalance. So it actually makes the structure even more unstable and wobbly. So the 3 pillars of well-being, the 3 legs of the tripod are focus, food, and fitness, right? So you gotta write this stuff down. The tripod theory. Draw a little tripod, put your healthy self on top of it, and write down the 3 fundamental pillars of healthy and well-being. I'm trying to look for the chart in the book so that I can show you the full thing. Focus, food, and fitness. For as long as you undevelop or neglect even just one of the 3 legs, oh here, I found the chart. For as long as you neglect, see it's in the book, on the top of the chapters. So long as you neglect even just one of the 3 legs, you will forever feel like you're either having to work so hard to get results that are okay, or you're not getting the results at all, or you get the results but it feels like such hard work to maintain them. Oh my god, you feel like you're in a constant fight with yourself. You're constantly having craving, you're constantly having self-sabotaging thoughts, you're constantly hungry, or you're constantly tired, or it just feels like you have to choose between either enjoying your life or looking and feeling your very best. Somehow you can't achieve both, and you feel that it's virtually impossible to have both. If you feel that way, that is symptomatic of the fact that you are neglecting one or more of the 3 pillars of health and well-being. It means that your strategy and that your approach is focused on just one, maybe even 2 of the 3 pillars. So the ideal strategy and the ideal approach is one which allows you to strengthen all 3 legs of the tripod in a way that is effective, systematic, well balanced, and bespoke to you, to your unique goals, to your unique challenges, to your unique aspirations, to your unique preferences. And I want to emphasize this point. What works for your friend Sarah, or for your cousin Mark, or for your boss Adam, who looks so healthy all the time and looks like he doesn't even have to work as hard as you do, or he's not even training as hard as you do, or he's not even eating as well as you do, what works for them might not work for you. Comparing can be empowering, it might inspire you, but it's a massive double-edged sword that can cause huge problems. All you need to know for today is your best results stand on top of a tripod. A tripod which is made of 3 legs, 3 Fs, if you want to remember. Very easy, 3F. It's actually on the front of the book too. Focus, food, and fitness. Now, if you don't know which one of the 3 pillars you have been consciously or unconsciously neglecting, or you're not so sure where you sit with the 3 pillars and how developed you are in each of them, you know that you're not getting the results that you wish you had, but you're not entirely sure what's going on. You suspect that there might be an imbalance. The single most effective thing that you can do is you can take our scorecard questionnaire. This is a tool that has cost us thousands of pounds to develop, but we give it away completely free because it is mind-blowingly effective. It is gonna bring so much clarity and it's gonna allow you to see exactly where you're at, where you score across the 3 pillars against the optimal, where the gaps are, etc, etc. It only takes 5 minutes to take the scorecard questionnaire, and I'm gonna share the link in the comments, and it's completely free. Literally not 1 penny. You gotta make sure that you type in the email correctly at the beginning, because after you finish answering all the questions, you will receive a comprehensive PDF report via email